Morning everyone, it's 5th of June. I'm BigFriendlyWarGamer, or Gareth, I'm known as to my friends, to most people. I'm going to sit and do one of my sit and paints like I do every week and have been doing for 6 months. So yeah, grab a paintbrush and paint along if you want to paint along, it's up to you. But like I generally do, I do a quick sweep of what I've got on my desk, and to be quite honest, it hasn't changed from last week, although this thing here is actually the second one. I completed the first one. I completed it last week. That's number 2. And it's coming on quite well. It looks slightly different from the first one because I wanted it to, and the pilot's falling out, but he's got to come out anyway because he's not finished yet, so it's fine. Come on, come out. Yep, there you go. Okay. So this is my Doomsday Ark. This is the second one for my Necron army. It's the last thing I've got to get finished painting, and it's coming on fairly well. I had a relatively okay painting session at the weekend where I got it up to this stage. It was a bit hot, so it wasn't comfortable to sit and paint for very long, but I got a fair bit of it done. I also have 10 desk company, 8 of which are down, sorry, 7 of which are down here, and then 3 are up here. These 3 need black painting on them again, but these lot haven't. That's why they're separate. I've got my pile of guns to go on the side of this. I've got my Flying Demon Prince, Paka, who is probably going to get re-undercoated in the next week or so. We got Logan Grimnar, who's probably been on my desk now for 6 months. Super glue. We have the 2 Catan Shards, with the Nightbringer, who is painted, and the Deceiver, who is not. And we've got the various other bits and pieces that need sorting out. I've got a Cryptek here who needs building. I haven't got around to building him yet. We have my very old Terminator, who's not actually mine, but he's a metal Terminator who I'm going to strip at some point. An old Necron Warrior who's going to get the same attention to him, going to get stripped, and a Necron Destroyer who's also going to be stripped at some point. I don't know when. Plus a couple of Scarabs who are huge compared to the up-to-date Scarabs. We've got my methylated spirits, which are what I use for stripping, washing up liquid that I use for cleaning models. Yeah, again, my desk is a bit of a mess at the moment, but it is what it is. My desk is a mess because it's used. That makes sense to me. If it was tidy all the time, I don't think I'd be happy. So yeah. And we've got the old bases. These are the old bases for my Necron Destroyers. For these guys, I've got some painted ones. But I realised that the bases were way too small, like legally for the game too small. So I've made new ones, and they're completed, and they're with my Necron Destroyers that are fully painted now. So what we're going to do is we're going to start painting this Doomsday Ark. Well, carry on painting this Doomsday Ark. If you're wondering why I've done these, it's because I'm going to be painting these guns. Very small, called Gauze Flare Arrays. There's 5 on each side. And basically I'm painting the blue. What I do is when I paint the blue, because it'll still be wet, I then embed it in a bit of blue tack. Can you see that down there? So basically it can dry without being without the colours being laid flat or whatever. Because if you paint something then lay it flat on the table, probably that paint's going to come off on the table. Although my paint station's a mess anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So yeah, normally I talk for about an hour about just random stuff, and that'll probably be the case again today as well. Yeah. Okay, so let's start with I need Abaddon Blackout. Which is what I try to do now, is I try to have all the paints I'm going to use for one session on my desk before I start. It just saves you having to go back to the... It's quicker. So we're actually going to make a start. Let's put this out of the way because it's a big thing that dominates the table. We're going to start on these weapons, and I'm just going to basically highlight the blue. This Techless blue is almost finished. So I have got a replacement one. I bought a batch of paints, different paints that I've nearly run out of, like the black and the silvers and the blues, and they're under here on my drawer of paint. I've got paints everywhere. I've got this paint stack here, as you've seen before when I've panned around. I've got this box under here which is full of paints. I've got paints on my desk, and I've got paints on the drawer underneath. Paints everywhere, but paint's full of paint, God. Yeah. So yeah, I'm getting some Techless blue, putting it on the palette, thinning it down a bit with water because it's a layer paint. It doesn't need to be too thick. And like I said, that pot's nearly done. I think a little bit more, probably enough to finish the Doomsday Ark, and the pot will be done. But we're not doing the Doomsday Ark just yet. We're going to paint these weapons. And we need my detail brush. I noticed that my brushes were starting to... I've got a brand new set of brushes which I haven't started using yet. Which I'm going to start using after this Doomsday Ark's finished. I've got a week and a half left till the tournament, so basically I'm going to have one next weekend. I'm going to be painting. Hopefully this Doomsday Ark will be finished before next weekend, so I can paint something a bit different than Necrons. I don't know what I'll paint yet. Maybe some Silver Tower stuff, I don't know. But yeah, it would be nice to paint something different. That's not. I'll probably go and paint skeletons now. You never know. But yeah, it's just a case of with me, it's not a case of I make a plan and I go and paint that. I just tend to go through my cases of my part painted models or my unpainted models, and whatever like jumps out at me, I kind of just grab and paint it. I know I should, like, having had to paint these Necrons to get them painted for the tournament. It's not. I wouldn't say it's been frustrating. That painting that thing is frustrating because of the it's glued together. I need to get to the gun. So I've got to basically base coat colours using a fine detail brush, which is going to be frustrating. But I still think it will get done. The problem I had at the weekend was, like I said, it was really hot in London. And it was uncomfortable to paint. It's cooled down a bit now. It's like, I'd say it's about 18 degrees at the moment, but it is still early. It's like, it's only 11:15, so it could get hot later on. You never know. I hope not, because I've got to go to work tonight, and working in that warehouse in that heat is not nice. But I get to drive around on forklifts, so I get a nice breeze in my face. Well, maybe get to drive around on forklifts, depending on how busy I am doing my other jobs. So yeah, and these little guns that I'm painting, there's 10 of them, 5 along each side of the Doomsday Ark. So it's just they don't take much to paint really. It's just a base coat on the blue, a layer on the blue. I've got to paint the little axe blade at the end in gold. I don't know why they've got an axe blade on the end of their guns. It doesn't really make sense, but it's there, so I'm painting that. It's not gold, it's bronze, sorry, or brass even. And then just tidy up the black, and the gun's done. I mean, I don't edge highlight the black or anything with the Necrons, so I don't really need it. So I just leave the black as flat as it is. I mean, it's weird as well, because like with the Death Company that I'm painting these guys, the black's like edge highlighted, and whatever. But the black on these guns isn't a really defining colour of them, if you know what I mean, of the actual, the whole thing. A black is just a little additional colour on it. There's not a lot of black on them. That's number 3. These are just awkward. This is the reason why I'm standing them up like this, is I don't want to be touching bits that I've painted and rubbing the paint off. So that brings me to another thing though. The big Doomsday Ark. I noticed that as I'm painting, I'm basically just taking the paint off with my fingers, because it's such a big model. There's no great way to hold it when you're painting, especially when it's fully assembled. Like when it's part assembled, you can hold the bits that you're not going to paint and that you're going to glue down and stuff like that. They glue together. Yeah, when it's fully assembled, you haven't got any of them parts really, so it's awkward. I was talking to some of the guys at the club yesterday. I know I keep changing track and what I'm saying, but it's okay. This is what my rambling's about. I don't know whether you can hear that crackling from my light. I can. When I'm painting like I was at the weekend and I've got music on, it's fine because it drowns it out. But at the moment, it's very audible in my. I can hear it. It's right there. In fact, let's just pan that camera up a little bit. That's a bit better. I don't know if you can hear it on the camera. It's only a little crackling. I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to replace that lamp, because it's not the bulb either, it's the lamp. Well, I think it's not the bulb. So I'm going to be looking for a new lamp. I want a 2-headed lamp because it's what I'm used to. So yeah, I'm going to look into that in the next week or so, I think. If I've got downtime at work, I may browse Amazon, see what they've got. Which I've been doing a little bit too much of browsing Amazon of late. I'm considering getting myself a VR headset for my PlayStation. I did the whole bought things as I was about to go to bed the other day. So I've got Star Wars Battlefront 1 and 2 for my PlayStation 4 coming. So yeah, and the Battlefront 1, I think it is, or Battlefront 2, I can't remember which one, is VR compatible. And I'm like, do you know what, I've been thinking about a VR headset for ages, and I was like, you know what, I might just actually go in and get one. Yeah, so, but yeah, I mean, my week's been not too bad. Had a issue at work again, and as my manager said, if I have an issue and I feel I'm going to lose it, I should walk away. I did, and I came all the way home. It was Thursday night, which Thursdays should be relatively quiet. They're quite easy Thursday nights. But the guy who runs the office was off work, and the woman who was covering him is apparently, she knows what she's doing, and she clearly doesn't. And I stopped her making a really, really quite big mistake, and she screamed at me for doing it. At which point I threw my hands up in the air and just walked out and come home. Which is exactly what I'll do anytime anyone screams at me at work anymore, because I'm not there to be screamed at. I'm not paid enough to be that bothered about my job. So it's what I'm going to do. That's number 6. I've got 4 more to do. So yeah, so that was an event, I suppose. They were worried I wasn't going into work on Friday, but I did. So yeah, so that happened. The rest of the week was fairly quiet. I mean, I played 2 games at my club yesterday, and I won one, I lost one. The one I won, I was playing against a guy who I've been teaching the game to a little bit, but he's been learning from other people as well. And I brought my really nasty Necron tournament army because I'm still trying to get tactics down and stuff like that, and like, it wasn't a nice game. I mean, he enjoyed it because he's trying to learn all the sides of 40k, so he wants to play against the tournament armies, and he wants to learn what's powerful, what's not, and stuff. But I feel like if I'm playing against someone who's new to the game, I shouldn't ever bring Necrons, because Necrons are just nasty. And I've seen online people saying that Necrons aren't competitive and whatever, and they really are. They weren't as competitive in the second game when I was playing. First game was excuse me. First game was Blood Angels. Excuse me, I'll just get a drink. First game was Blood Angels, mostly Death Company. Second game was Mechanicum with Crawl, which I'm gonna have to kill that model at some point. Excuse me a minute. That's better. So yeah, Crawl and his lots of shots army. It wasn't particularly a fun game, but it's okay. I learnt things. I learnt that when I'm playing certain deployment types, that I have to do or focus down one side. I also have to not do silly things and deep strike my Cryptek. The problem was he had snipers that were specifically there for taking my characters out, and he killed my Cryptek in one round of shooting, which I then brought him back because I had the what's it called? One of the stratagems for Necrons, where on a 4+ at the end of the shooting phase he can come back. So he did, and so I'm in the mind of using a terrain better. So when there are snipers around, make the characters be out of line of sight of them. I've got to not just focus on see, because we played a weird mission as well, one I've not seen before, and it was where you've got basically you play it until you score 10 tactical objective cards. If you don't know 40k tactical objectives, you get you draw a deck of cards. Each mission will tell you how many cards you draw per turn, and in this one you draw 3 per turn, and you score them by, some of them will be holding objectives, some of them will be to kill certain things, yeah, stuff like that, and perform abilities, that kind of thing. Yeah, I mean, it didn't help I was drawing cards which I just couldn't achieve. So like objectives that were on the far side of the board, but he was as well. He's just yeah, his army wasn't nice, but it's okay. going to be the sort of army I'm going to see at tournaments, I suppose. So, but I could have played the game. I could have played it better. I didn't. I grouped my army up like I always do, and then I separated them, which is the worst thing I could have done. But I needed something that was going to distract the. I needed him to split his force so that my main force would get up the table. We played the thing where it's like basically the arrowhead on the table ends. That doesn't help my army at all, because with 24-inch range I can't focus fire stuff. And then he groups up, he basically castled, and he was re-rolling all his hit rolls. Yeah, I wish I had something that would let me re-roll hit rolls, because I don't have anything like that, and it's a bit frustrating. I could bring a Triox Stalker, but I would only get hit rolls against the unit I shoot at first with the Stalker, and I don't like the idea. Fair enough, the idea of wiping a unit out per turn is fine, but I prefer to try and maximise. I mean, his units of breaches, the servitors on tracks, have an obscene amount of shots, and I was happy reducing the units to 1, and I was doing that. I think he had lost 1 full unit and 2 other units were down to 2 or 1 models. I had near enough destroyed both of his units of rangers, which were his snipers, but by the time I'd got to that stage my army was pretty much done. So yeah, I conceded, I think, turn 4, because all it would have happened is he would have tabled me. Turn 5, I had 1 unit of warriors left and a lord, who the lord couldn't do nothing because all he can do is advance up the table and he can't get close enough to charge, and the warriors were out of range even if I had moved up. So it was a bit of a bust, but it's fine. So I finished the blue on them, on the guns. I'm going to go back to the Doomsday Ark. Let's get this out of the way while they're drying. Yeah. Blue tack's your friend. When you're building models and when you're painting, blue tack's awesome. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. So we're going to do some more of the turquoise on this Doomsday Ark. See, I'm not too far away from getting this finished now. I've got a lot of edge highlighting to do, and that's fine. But it is 3 colours. It's all ready to a stage where I could play it in the tournament. It'd be fine, but I want to get it fully finished, because not only does it for the tournament, but it adds to my painting tally as well then, which I'm on 104, I believe, for the year so far. So I'm over halfway, and we're only at the beginning of June, so I'm well on my way. At this point in the last couple of years, I've had breaks, and then I've found it hard to get back into painting again. So this year I don't plan on having any kind of a break. I'm just going to keep painting because it's what I'm enjoying doing. I'm enjoying it so much, it's putting me off wanting to go to work, to be quite honest. And I know I've got to go to work, so I'm going to work, but yeah. So I'm going to keep painting. I've got a plan to paint a load of small things in the next few weeks once this is finished. So I may go back. I'm going to finish I've got 2 units of Tyrannid Gaunts, who I think they need like 5 or 6 models between the 2 units to bring them up to 30. So I'm going to get them done, and they should be relatively quick. I should get them all done in like less than a week. I'm going to then jump back on Chaos Space Marines, I think. It was me saying earlier I don't plan things, but I've been wanting to paint some Chaos Space Marines again since I know I painted some earlier in the year. And I actually quite enjoyed painting the Black Legion, the Berserkers in Black Legion colours. They look really cool. So I want to build that squad up so it's 10 man, so I've got another 5 of them to paint. I then want to probably work on some of my Terminators, my Chaos Terminators, but I don't know, because Terminators generally in 40k aren't very good. But we'll see. I mean, further down the line, there's no pressure for me to paint anything in particular after painting this. I've got no other. As it stands at the moment, I'm not planning on attending any other tournaments. That could change. I don't know, but see, I was going to enter our club painting competition, the Artificer painting competition that we do. Once a month, someone selects something, a unit type or something like that, and everyone paints it, or people that want to enter it. And this month is monsters. And I was gonna build and enter the Scarbrand. He's a big bloodthirster for Khorne demons. And then I realised that this weekend I'm probably going to be painting this. Next weekend I'm going to be at a tournament, and the closing day is the Monday after the tournament. So I'm not going to be entering it. So yeah, but Scarbrand I want to get painted at some point because it's such a nice model. But yeah, we got Age of Sigma 2nd edition coming out fairly soon, in the next few weeks I believe, and I still want to get the old Age of Sigma box because there's some models in there I want for Silver Tower, and I'm pretty sure it's going out of production, so I'm gonna try to get up Games Workshop on Sunday or Saturday this week and get that. Hopefully, if I can get this thing finished before then, I'll have a free weekend, and I can get up there and get that. But again, we'll see. As some guy has obviously said in the past, plans never survive contact with the enemy, and the enemy is time. So yeah. Who knows? We'll see. But yeah, I haven't been up Games Workshop for a few weeks now. It's not. It's just basically because I want to just sit and paint. And yeah, I could sit and paint in there, but I don't. It's the fact that I would be wasting an hour travelling there, an hour travelling back. So yeah, but I may arrange if I get this finished by the weekend, which I'm hoping to. I may arrange a game in there, but we'll see. I said I'd teach a guy Blood Bowl. But yeah, we'll see. I might arrange some table time if it's free, and teach him how to play the game of true fantasy football. Good old Blood Bowl. So yeah, it's things are cool. Well, not literally. It's a bit warm. It's been very warm lately. I've been playing my PlayStation a lot over the weekend purely because I can turn all the lights off and put my fan on, and I don't have to sit in a leather chair where I'm going to sweat my backside off. So yeah, I've been playing Star Trek Online. It's a free PlayStation game, and I've been quite engrossed in it because I've been learning how to do different things in it and stuff. Stuff that I never looked at before. I'm like, wow, where did that come from? Okay, I literally learned something new at the weekend. I've been playing the game for like a year and a half. But it's okay, because I'm always learning. Even with painting, I've been painting nearly 30 years, and I still learn things. Like learning not to build silly Doomsday Arks before you paint them. Yeah. But there we go. So yeah, it's I was talking to someone at the club yesterday about my Primaris Marines. Now when I got Dark Vengeance, a friend of mine traded me the Death Guard parts for the Space Marine parts. So I've got 2 lots of Dark Imperium, sorry. I've got 2 lots of the Dark Imperium starter set Space Marines. One set was going to be Blood Angels, because my Blood Angels army is stupidly huge and never going to be finished, but it's fine. And the others were going to be Imperial Fists, but I'm considering clearing out my Imperial Fist army and making them Space Wolves. Because when I was painting Space Wolves earlier in the end of last year now, because have I painted any this year? I can't remember. I think I've painted the Grey Hunters, the Thunderwolf Cavalry. I think I painted this year, but it could be last year. I lose track. I really quite enjoyed painting them. The grey armour is really cool, and I've got a certain way that I like doing it. It gives them. It's not your typical blue Space Wolf armour. It's a dark grey. It's more of a Heresy grey Space Wolf colour. So I was considering painting my Primaris Marines that grey. Obviously, I would slightly convert the models so they would have like wolf pelts on them, and I'd Space Wolf them up basically. But I don't know. Do I want to start? I've started Space Wolves a number of times over the years, and I was never able to get a consistent grey that I was happy with, and now I have. So I might actually start a proper army of them. Not going to be a big army. I say that I said my Necrons were never going to be a big army, and they're like 10,000 points. But anyway, I don't know. Do I need to start a new army? Probably not. Do I want to start a new army? Yeah. Because there's nothing stopping me, except myself. I've got some Space Wolf kits that are kind of sitting in a box. When I did the commission last year for painting Space Wolves, I had bought some myself, and when I got the models from the guy, I used my ones to actually make it as his. So I've got his original ones still in a box somewhere, and they're part built, which that's not a problem. I would fully build them before I paint them. The problem is they're undercoated before they're built, which it could pose a problem, but I think I should be able to get around it with my super glue, my industrial grade super glue, which I keep bragging to everyone about because it's really, really good. I swear by it. It's probably the best super glue I've ever used. So we're going to go and just paint these bits down the spine now. But yeah, I'm trying to make my videos more about painting rather than me ranting about work and stuff like that. It's about war games in general. I've just got a bit of turquoise on my bone colour, on my cream. Oh well, I'll tidy that up later. I'm using one of my bigger brushes to do this, which is probably wrong, but it's okay. So yeah, see, you get less me ranting and raving about work and stuff, but you will get some of it. I think I've said before, I've set up a GoFundMe page for the couple that run the Battle of Britain Club, because we've been there 5 years, or over 5 years now, and they're as much a part of our club as any of the rest of us. They've supported us through everything. They've been there to feed us, we buy drinks and we buy food and blah blah blah, but at the end of the day they've been really good to us. So I wanted to, as a thank you, set up something to either give them as a thank you, give them a big lump sum money wise, or to buy something to give to them. I know the other club, the Dice Club that ran at Battle of Britain Club, they bought them a hamper and stuff, and I'm thinking about doing something like that, because to be honest, not a lot of people have donated, so the money is, there's some money there, not as much as I thought we'd get. So I was like saying to people, if at some point everyone who's on our Battlelux page, or almost everyone, has come to that site and has gamed at that site, and if every single person just donated a couple of quid, that's all it would take, and do you know what I mean? £3, we would clear £1,000 without a doubt, and not a lot of people have donated. So yeah, it's a bit frustrating, but I can't force people to do anything. I'm never going to impose my will on anyone. I'm not superhuman. People can do what they want, but this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to say thank you to the couple, because they've been great. Okay, I actually need. Will this little base work? I don't think it will. Kind of. Nope. Oh, that'll do. I didn't want the turquoise to be flat on the ground, because it'll damage the paint. Do you know what I mean? So what I'm going to do quickly is just grab my base out of the case. I'm a poet and I know it. But yeah, I've been listening to a lot of music. I'm basically going through my CD collection, because I know everyone's got got iPods and iTunes and blah blah, and I have as well. I've got my iPod, which I love because it's 160 gig iPod. Apparently it's worth like £500 now, but anyway, probably worth more because it's got like 6,500 songs on there as well. But anyway, I when I play my iPod through my hi-fi, the sound quality is not great because I'm just doing it through the headphone jack because the USB doesn't work. The USB in my hi-fi is Sony hi-fi and it's not compatible with Apple. I don't know why Apple are like that, but they are. So I just putting the proper bass on it. That's better. So yeah, I've been playing my CDs, going through my CD collection, because I've got some really, really bad CDs in there, like really terrible stuff. So I'm going through and I'm playing the ones that I want to keep, and the ones that I'm kind of not too sure about are going in a box and going into storage probably. Let's do the blue. I've been putting off doing this blue for a while now because it's on the gun. I've got to use a fine detail brush to get to it, but let's do it. But yeah, like the live albums I'm putting into boxes. The albums that I've bought, and I have no idea why I bought them back when I bought them. There's stuff like the Ibiza albums, which I was quite into that sort of music years ago, and I can't stand it now. When I say years ago, I'm talking like nearly 20 years ago. Kissing Ibiza 2000, 2001 and stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, I can't stand that music anymore. So they're going in boxes. I have got worse, believe me. I've got Robbie Williams albums. I'm like, Samantha Mumba, do you remember them? Scissor Sisters, oh, terrible, very, very bad. At the time they were cool, kind of cool, and now they're terrible. The music's so bad. But so I've been listening to like a lot of Metallica, some Bon Jovi, some Guns N' Roses, Stereophonics, Kasabian, all the kind of stuff I'm really into now. So I've had music playing all weekend more or less. So probably driving my parents mad, but nah. Oh well. When have I ever not driven my parents mad? Do you know what I mean? So if you can see this, you see this, it's a really big gun it's got under here, right? And in between the guns they've got like power conduits. So you can see like here. And I'm going to now attempt to paint these power conduits blue, which means poking a brush through already painted stuff. Yeah, it might take a while. It probably will take a while. It's a bit delicate, but I can clean up afterwards. It's not a problem. And this is why I don't edge highlight until I've got all the base colours down on all the colours, because edge highlighting will clean up the bits where you go a little bit wrong. And to be honest, I can go a little bit wrong, it doesn't matter. I'm at the stage with my painting now where I want it to look good, but I don't need it to look perfect. Because as I've been saying to people before, I totally get that some people want their models to look perfect, and I'm putting fingers on places I've just painted. I get that because I've been at that stage before. Back when I was painting Lord of the Rings models, they had painting guides in the back of White Dwarfs. Back when it was Lord of the Rings was a big game system, and it's still played. Not quite as much, but it's still played. I was following their painting guides to the letter, literally just absolutely down the line. And even like with paint mixes, I was mixing paints as well. This is back when they had the old paint range, so you've got like this Hawk turquoise that I use for my turquoise on these. That was a main paint colour then. And you didn't have half as many paints as you do now, so to get other shades you had to like mix paints and stuff like that. And it was just a done thing then. People just, that is what everyone done. That is what everyone did. Yeah, speaking English properly. So, and then I was properly, like, I was mixing paints. I was doing the techniques they were saying in the White Dwarf, and following the guide to the letter. And I don't really, I follow guides still. Like when I've been painting my Silver Tower stuff, I'm adding my own, like, kind of, I want to say flair to it, but I don't have any kind of flair that I'm aware of. But yeah, following guides isn't a bad thing. People do it. That's why people put the painting guides on YouTube and stuff. It's like, why not? Just follow what someone else has done. You could put, like I said, you could put your own little twist on it. Like when I was painting the Blue Horrors, they were saying about painting them over a white undercoat. I generally, unless it's World Eaters and they're white armour, I paint over a black undercoat. It's just the way my painting's developed over the years. Where was I going? Yeah, so my armies generally don't have a bright colour to them, although my World Eaters are white, so they're undercoated white. So that's a bit different, but although my Necrons aren't exactly dark with their cream colour and turquoise, but yeah, it's just where I've developed my painting scheme. I prefer a black undercoat. White allows you to see more of the detail most of the time, but when you're painting certain colours, like red, for example, red goes much better over black than it does over white, in my opinion, anyway. So yeah, it is personal preference. Some people use grey as an undercoat. For my Necrons, I believe the undercoat is Xandri Dust, which is a dark cream colour. Because it's a base coat as well, and it's just quicker and easier to base coat and undercoat the same. Because people have said with Games Workshop paints, are the spray paints undercoats as well as base coats, and I've used them as it, and they work perfectly fine. So yeah, it's like I said, it's all personal preference. Once you've been painting for a while, you get your own style, and you basically start to paint how you want to paint. And like I say, I still use guides. I've been doing these for nearly 30 years. I still use guides. But say for example my Necron army here, like I hadn't seen anyone paint a Necron army in cream colours before, let alone using turquoise. So it was just a colour scheme that I kind of stumbled upon, and I was like, that looked cool. So I didn't even do a test model, I just literally painted it. I just started painting because it's what I had in mind. These were going to have a kind of Tomb King Egyptian sort of theme, and I think with their colours they kind of do. So yeah, and like I said, my painting isn't perfect. There's bits on these that are blotchy, that are whatever, but I'm happy with it, so I'm more than happy to just carry on. And I think that's the blue done. No, there's still more to do. Okay. It's not too bad, it's just like a power cable, and I can't get all of it. And there's one there. I don't want to literally paint this and then the night before the tournament look at it and go, oh man, I've missed that bit. That's going to be awkward. Yeah, it is a little bit frustrating. Like I said, with models like this, I wish I hadn't built them fully before I paint them. The Ghost Ark should be easier, purely because they haven't got this big gun in the way. They haven't got so much junk in the way to actually paint. Because I'm going to leave all the warriors out of my Ghost Arks, because I don't like the look of them warriors in there. Ghost Arks are the other version of this, but they don't have the big gun, and they're troop carriers. So the model, when you're building the model, it has a load of guys sitting in it, which I don't really like the look of, and they're all damaged Necron warriors and stuff. So see, the other things I've still got to do for this tournament, I've got to write out an army list, which unfortunately is going to go across 3 pages. I was going to do it on a double-sided page, but I'm not going to be able to do that because I've got too many units, I think. So it's going to be across 3 pages. That's not a problem, really. Right, so let's just get the base colours finished on this now. All I've got to do is a little bit of black, and all the base colours are down, and then it's just edge highlighting, which I won't get to the edge highlighting today, but I will get this black done. This is a new pot of Abaddon black because my old pot finished up. This looks like silly me saying it, it looks like a new pot. It looks like a fresh batch of paint, because sometimes I was talking about this to someone as well last night. When you get some paints, and they might have been sitting on a shelf for a while, just sometimes they're not in a great condition, because especially if they've been in the shop, they've got cold, and then they've got hot, and they've got cold again, and it's not supposed to change the quality of the paint, but it really does. So when you buy a new pot and you get it from a shop, sometimes it's a bit thick, and you can sort it out if you're willing to put a bit of time into it and sort it out. It's totally doable, but when you want to just grab a pot and paint, it's frustrating. You open something like that and it's like, oh great, I've got to put medium in this to thin it down. So that black looks pretty good to me. So we're going to be basically just painting this black into this, the join between the, I want to say the spine bit, I suppose it's not a spine because spine goes down the centre. Oh, that bit, I'm painting the black on that bit basically. But yeah, this being my last painted model to go before the tournament, I'm really happy with, because I've played in one tournament before and my army wasn't finished. I had health problems at the time with my legs and stuff like that. Well, no excuses this time round. No excuses at all. I still have problems with my legs, but they're not like it was. Back when I was having trouble with my legs before, I literally couldn't sit in one position for very long. I don't have that trouble anymore. There's been times when I've been in the mood and I've sat and painted for 6 or 7 hours. I stopped for drinks, I stopped to go and have something to eat, but I can have really long painting sessions sometimes. When time allows, that is, as well, because life gets in the way. So yeah, basically what I do with this is I paint all the outside, and I'll go back to the inner bits in a little while. And then I do have some other base colours to put down on the guns. It's just a gold. Or a bronze, sorry. I've done that one. And the bronze on them doesn't take long on the guns. Basically the guns fit into these bits that I'm painting black now. The guns fit into them. And as with the other one, the guns will be glued in. I've had people say you should magnetise them because they break off or whatever, and I'm like, not doing that. That's way too much work for a week and a half to go. So they're getting glued on. I'll keep track of them if they break off, and I will fix them if need be. But shouldn't need to. But yeah, I was talking earlier, I was saying about I'm thinking about getting a VR headset for my PlayStation. I've been thinking about it for a while, and mostly because of one of the videos that Mini Wargaming did, where basically they do these not sit and vaults, behind the scenes at Mini Wargaming sort of thing, open vault they call it. They started doing them on YouTube now as well, but whatever. And one of these open vaults, they basically did it when people were wearing it. They were wearing a VR headset and climbing a mountain, and it just looked so silly and funny that I'm like, oh, I want one of them. It's a good party thing, I reckon. You get people around, and fair enough, you can only do one at a time, but then everyone else gets to laugh at the people doing it, if you know what I mean. I've always been very much into, I like party games and stuff. I've played Guitar Hero excessively. I love my music. Played Rock Band quite a lot as well. I've got the full Rock Band 3 band kit. So I've got the drums, I've got the guitar, I've got the keyboard, I've got the bass guitar, the microphones. And it's all quite funny when you get a group of people and you've had a few drinks. It could get very silly. I believe I had one of my mates singing Barbie Girl, or was it a different song? I can't remember now. But yeah, we used to do that quite a bit. Remember the late nights of playing Yellow Submarine by the Beatles. That was funny, especially when their younger sister come down and said, "Can you shut up? You can't sing." That was pretty cool, pretty funny. I think we went on till about 3 in the morning, but that was quite a while ago. But yeah, I've still got all that band equipment and stuff. I haven't used it for a while, but I was playing it with my nephews last time, I think. And I kind of stopped playing it because I got my real guitar and I was playing that. Because there's a game on PlayStation called Rocksmith where you can learn to play a proper guitar. You plug it into your PlayStation and you properly learn to play it. I was a bit engrossed in that for quite a while. When I was doing my counselling sessions for depression, one of my regular things was on a Saturday I go for a walk, I have a shower, I then lift my weights, and then I play Rocksmith for an hour. Learn to play guitar, and it was good. And then things just changed a little bit. I started walking home from work instead. So, because basically I was finding that after a week of work, once you've been for a 2-hour walk, and I don't walk slowly, I walk at quite a pace. I put a bit of music on and I march around. Once you've done that and you jumped in the shower and you've done some weights, and I found that sitting in front and playing Rocksmith, I wasn't bored, but I was very, very tired, and I was like not doing very well because I was falling asleep during it. But then your Saturday's kind of done. Literally, like, I had no energy to do anything else, and I just started finding that if I was walking home from work, I could walk home from work, go in the shower when I get home, and go to bed and sleep it off, and then I have all my Saturday. And for me at the moment, the Saturdays are important because it's my painting day. Generally, it wasn't this Saturday, but anyway, it was my laying on my bed and playing my PlayStation day. But that's fine. It was too hot to paint, and it wasn't till Sunday evening I actually got motivated, and I cleaned my fan off so I could actually sit and paint for a little while. Like, even now it's quite warm, not as warm as it was, and no, my luck, because I'm going back to work tonight, it'll bang down with rain right before I go to work, but it's whatever. But we're actually getting quite close to having this to a stage where I'm kind of happy with it. I mean, once this black's done, I've got a few other little bits to do. I'm going to paint some more black on it. So I wanted this one to look different to my other one. I don't want them to look identical. And there are just little things that just make them different. And this one's going to be like I said, it's going to have slight differences on it. There's a set of spikes, shall we say, underneath it, which, to be honest, aren't going to be seen really, but I might paint them black. No, I think that's okay. It's tabletop now. I could field that in a game and it wouldn't be a problem. There's more bits that I keep finding. I'm gonna paint this spine bit black. Like I said, I want each one to look slightly different. Not majorly different, so people are going to be like, well, why is that different to that one? But it's just so you can tell which one's which. Yeah. But once I've done this, I'm pretty sure I'll call the video there. I can then start uploading it to YouTube. And the world can have another one of my rambling sessions. Like I said, I'm trying to make this more about painting than me rambling and moaning about stuff. You'll still get the odd bit of me moaning, but it won't be that much. I'll try to not make it that much. So yeah, but what I will also do, if I remember, because I never seem to remember things that I say I'm going to do, because you got to understand, when I'm uploading a video, it takes a while to render, which is basically it downloads it to my phone, to my laptop, sorry, which takes about an hour. It then has to render it into high definition, which takes an hour and a half, maybe a bit more. It then gets uploaded to YouTube, which can easily take an hour and a half or more, depending on how big the video is. and I don't get to edit the description until it's actually uploading to YouTube. So when I say in the videos that I'm gonna put links and stuff like that, I forget because it's so long between actually me doing the video and me uploading it that I forget. And it happens to us all. We all get old, or we all get older. So I will try to remember. I'm going to put a link to the GoFundMe page that I'm doing for Debbie and Danny. This is just basically a support page and a thank you. But yeah, I think I'm gonna. Have I got black paint left there? Yeah, I've got a little bit of black paint. Let's see if I can actually do the spine on this guy as well. Because no, I can't, because I've got too big a brush. So I am going to leave it there. I've got a bit of work done on this today, and I'm going to carry on painting, I think, because it's what, 20 to 12 now. So I'm going to have about another hour or so painting before I have lunch, and hopefully this Doomsday Ark will not be on my paint table next week. But who knows, it could still be. I may be really far behind, you never know. But thank you very much again for listening or watching, or whichever you do. And I'm sure I'll be back next week with another one of my talking rubbish. But yeah, it's been nice not dwelling on bad things, talking about painting mostly. But thank you very much for watching and listening. I'm BigFriendlyWarGamer. I will catch you soon. Goodbye.